So we're done with our behind the scenes look at season 5 of The Chosen from our live point of view, but The Chosen is still catching up with our YouTube videos. So let's check out the YouTube video from this week along with a bonus video, which is quite interesting. It shows us some of the new sets that are going on in Texas as they finally return from Utah into Texas and get back to the set that we know and love. There's actually a bunch of new buildings on this set as well. Hopefully in a future video, I'll be able to show you my personal behind the scenes that I got to take when I was on set just a few weeks ago, actually a little over a month ago now. But let's jump into this and watch this YouTube video right here.
We are filming here on location in Jerusalem. What an incredible opportunity to bring season 5 to this magnificent city. We are back here.
So obviously they're just messing around here, but we see them as they are jumping into Texas here, and we see they're back in the, well, they're shooting in Jerusalem because that's where most of season 5, if not all of season 5, takes place. And so we see this large curtain here that we're gonna get a little bit more insight in later on. But this curtain is kind of the background of all of Jerusalem. It's really, really cool. It's this large backdrop that is kind of in the behind the scenes of all of these moments that they're shooting here.
We're in Texas, where we've got brand new sets in our, not one, but 2 incredible sound stages.
Now, when we're talking sets you have never, ever seen before, and some of the biggest sets we have ever built.
Yeah, so this is the whole location here. This is a really cool shot of kind of what's going on here and what you're seeing. This is actually a huge section here of everything that goes on for The Chosen. Okay, so these 2 large buildings over here to the right are all giant sound stages. These are some of the best sound stages in all of Texas now, and so they have 2 of them here now. Originally it was just the 1, now they have 2 of them. In the back over here are the bungalows. These are where all the cast stays when they're on set. Then they have these different buildings here. Some of these are used for lunch, some of these are used for makeup and wardrobe, some of these are used for storage or prop making, different things like that. There's a lot of different buildings over here. Now, somewhere else on the property nearby is actually where obviously Capernaum is. All that kind of stuff is kind of a drive nearby. But we also see over here is this is where the feeding of the 5,000 took place, over in these fields, kind of all over the place over here. They had the large feeding of the 5,000, as well as the big event that happened during that time there. So it was an amazing time, over 2 years ago now. And this is where that all was before a lot of these buildings were finished even. So really, really cool stuff.
It's just surreal seeing how far we've come from season 1 to now. There's always something new that we can look forward to every time we come back.
So it looks relatively similar. This is the faux Capernaum, as they call it, fake Capernaum here, and they have it's relatively similar as it was before, but there are some big changes that come as they move further and further into the season.
It's amazing how they took Texas and made it into Utah, basically, because look at that huge arc. That was never there before.
He says arc several times in this video, but it's arch, right? It's not arc, right? Am I the only one that thinks that? Are you team arc or team arch?
But that's put there to make everything look completely different. This is the spot where Veronica came running out. And what's that over there?
This used to be where Eden was stomping grapes, and now it's like a grapes store / a winery. This used to be horse stables, and now it's some kind of store where they sell, looks like perfumes and all kinds of goodness. And look over there.
This is the entrance where you would come into Capernaum, and now it's been turned into something completely different. They even changed the material on the inside of the ark, so it's no longer...
These are probably supposed to be representing some of the gates of Israel. Although I'm not sure it would look like that. Maybe it's supposed to be representing something else, but the actual gates at Israel would be made of block. I don't think they had like an outer stucco sort of finish like this. Although, yeah, could be wrong.
Stones! And what's that?
Everything here is the same.
This building is part of a larger group of buildings. We've built an entire...
So this is what we believe to be Caiaphas's complex. Just like they're saying here, this building is a group of much larger buildings that are part of a large complex around the area. We've actually talked about Caiaphas's complex in a previous video before, so you can go back and check that out if you want. But here we should be seeing Caiaphas's home kind of be set up in this area here. We've seen the interior shots of that being shot in the sound stage, and then this is just the exterior of the house here.
Entire section of Jerusalem all in CG, and it's a modular piece, so we can mix and match buildings as needed. Texas, as it turns out, is very lush and beautiful here. Jerusalem is not, so we'll get rid of
well, parts of Jerusalem are more lush than others. Let's say that. For example, the Garden of Gethsemane, right? The Mount of Olives. There are plenty of trees over there, but it's definitely not Texas-like. Jerusalem is not, because it's much higher elevation for the most part. But for example, Galilee is very lush, and so it would be a lot similar to this in some ways.
the trees. We'll add in some old buildings and hopefully make it look a little bit more like Jerusalem.
How do you delete a tree?
Painstakingly.
Is it what you dreamed?
Dude, I didn't dream of any of this. I was shooting on a farm in Illinois when I first started this thing. I didn't think of that.
I will say this, Dallas does have an amazing art team, an amazing set team. They've done awesome stuff.
Palaces and Jerusalem and all that fun stuff. I'm on house money at this point, baby.
What's up, guys? Brad Culver here. Before you do anything else right now.
So this is Zebediah. He's a big character in this season, more so than he has been last season. And so he's a awesome Pharisee in this one.
Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. It helps you stay tuned into the content, but also helps everybody else stay keyed in. It helps us a whole bunch. So tell your friends, write letters on parchment, attach them to pigeons' feet, and send them to the Bahamas. That'll help us a lot.
Wait, excuse me, Lazarus.
No, I'm sorry, I don't have time.
No, you got time. I checked with your people. What is the difference between last year and this year now filming in Laz's house?
So this is interesting. We actually didn't see the other side of this set right here. Interesting. I wonder if this is Passover. I wonder if all the women and Zebedee went back to Lazarus's house for Passover. That would make a lot of sense, actually. I'm trying to think. So last time we saw this scene, of course, we saw all the women here. We have, we've got the three Marys, right? We've got Salome, we've got Mother Mary, we've got Mary of Bethany, we've got Martha, Tamar, Eden, of course, Mary Magdalene. Who else is here? Is Veronica here? I don't think so. Salome, I said that already. I'm probably missing somebody. But we see all those people that are here, quite interesting. And then we also see, which we didn't see in the behind the scenes previously, Zebedee and Lazarus. So this is potentially Passover at Lazarus's house while they're doing the Last Supper in Jerusalem. This would be, I don't think, super plausible, just because it would be Passover. They would want to be, oh no, do they travel? Yeah, they would travel for Passover to Jerusalem and have it in Jerusalem. I don't know.
I've lost a lot of my wealth.
Oh, man.
Just moving back to Texas. They took away my living room with all my fancy pillows, which was terrible. My foyer. I couldn't go sneak a snack at Martha's Kitchen.
In what way does it at all feel the same?
It still has the warmth of
Oh, Joanna's the last one there on the end.
home with, my two sisters. And then, actually this time I had a full table of guests.
We're here in Lazarus's house, taking in this beautiful view. But let's take a look.
We've done soundstage work before, but this is the first time we've had these giant curtains, and they have the whole landscape painted behind them. Their fires are lit, or you're seeing the light in their windows. I don't know how that's working, I just know it is working, and it's incredibly cool.
That's a lot of work. Not only to put up a large backdrop like that, but to light every single window and make sure that it's all working like that. Yeah, that's a lot of work for sure, but I'm sure it's going to add a lot to the background of Lazarus's home, for example. This should be Bethany here. Did they say that, or did they say Jerusalem?
The first time we've had these.
But let's take a look.
We've done soundstage work before, but this is the first time we've had these like giant curtains, and they have the whole landscape painted behind them. Their fires are lit, or you're seeing the light in their windows. I don't know how that's working, I just know it is working, and it's incredibly cool.
I gotta say, Texas feels a little bit like a jungle with all this rain.
My first day here today, there was a massive rainstorm.
Just sheets of rain, lightning. We go down to the city, it's like so much mud it hasn't even.
So we looked at this in the behind the scenes as well. There's a lot of stuff from the actors talking about how crazy this rain was when they first got back to Texas. Yeah, I mean, you can't do anything about it, right? They always get kind of this crazy rain. I think this was right during the hurricane, right when the hurricane hit there.
Left us yet.
Look at all the water still draining through the sewage because the city is still drying out from the rain before. One simple scene, there's a window back there. The camera's in that window and it's filming like soldiers walking through the courtyard.
You need to look like they're walking right to this house, and then they do a sharp turn. It's not casual, it's not a banana, it's scary, you know, they want to look fearful.
Super simple, right? Except the whole ground is muddy, so they gotta go make it unmuddy so that everybody can walk through it.
This is Ananus, son of the high priest.
This is quite interesting. So we're seeing a little bit more of this scene with Barnaby and Shula, where we see Yanni and Zebediah are kind of yelling at Barnaby for his quips that he has. We're going to see a little bit more of that here as well. But we see as finally we get introduced to who this new character is in the red outfit, who seems very ornate. We knew he was someone important, but we weren't sure exactly who he was. Turns out he's the son of Annas, and so quite interesting here.
Annas.
You are the son of Annas, and Caiaphas now sits on that seat, who is your brother-in-law. How's that actually been going for you today?
Oh, it's terrible. He came into the family, but he's not family. Power has always been the center of everything, you know?
So Annas is not really a huge biblical figure. We don't really see him basically at all. We hear Annas talked about because he's the father-in-law of Caiaphas. However, Annas, not really someone who we see a lot in scripture. So I don't expect we're going to see a ton of biblical stuff from him, but he is obviously a power that's here, probably quite influential, being part of the main family who kind of controls all the religious section of Jerusalem. And so we'll kind of see how that plays out.
Jealousy and all that stuff, and there's so much I'm looking forward to play with this character, you know?
Yes, no, I completely agree. We all have setbacks. They can be hard to swallow.
Shooting the scene over here, it's got Barnaby, Shula, and some Pharisees walking by.
He's being a little bold and kind of being sassy towards the Pharisees.
I don't care what's in the phylactery.
He's like a teenager, right?
I just wanted to say phylactery.
You know, the gloves are off at this point.
I love Alok. He's awesome.
Point too, as far as, you know, in terms of between Jesus and the Pharisees, and either join me in the kingdom of heaven or don't, you know, and he doesn't think about the consequences as much. Shula, on the other hand, is like, Barnaby, you know, stop it, you know, which is good.
Yeah, I wonder what the consequences will be. Is he going to get any consequences towards him or no? We'll see. So that's the end of that section there. Let's jump into the bonus video. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this episode right here and want to see more videos just like this, the best way to help support us is by going to snipesupport.com. For $5, $10, or $25 a month, you can help us to continue making videos like this and not have to worry about the YouTube algorithm and have to cater towards specific types of videos. It really helps us to continue to make the videos that we want to make and that you want to see. So anyway, if you want to support us, head over there to snipesupport.com, and let's get back to the video. There's some quite interesting things here as they talk about some of the sets that are going on for season 5 in particular. And so let's talk about this one. Let's jump in.
I like that light. That wall is cool.
Well, I wonder what set this is, or what scene's gonna be filmed in here.
Production is picking back up here in Texas, and of course, they always start with the Tech Scout, so we're gonna be playing our Tech Scout guessing game. What do you think they're gonna be filming at these locations? And make sure to type your guesses at the comments below.
They're not going to give us the answers, so you can guess all you want, I guess.
Can you guess what scene they're going to be filming back here in season 5?
Well, we've already been shown, right, in the other episode. This is the Lazarus scene. It's just a piece of Lazarus's set because the full set is in Utah. So they just have the dinner table basically here from Lazarus's house.
Does this place look familiar? It should, because this is Zebedee's house.
I say to you, my son, rise.
But now, does it still look familiar? Probably not, because this is a new set. So
this is what we're assuming is the room that is up. This room has been the focus of a lot of what we've been seeing here. And so this looks to be the exterior of a very important room for season 5, for sure.
what do you think is going to be happening here?
This alleyway once led us to the synagogue when this city was once Capernaum. But now look, it's not the synagogue, is it? You come up here, we don't even have the really cool gates with the vines. Then look at this door. This isn't the synagogue.
I think that's probably the Sanhedrin door, if I were to guess. So they're trying to mimic part of the temple area, right near the Holy of Holies, where they would do, where they would have the Sanhedrin meeting there. So that's what I'd be guessing they're trying to mimic here.
It's the synagogue. There's the synagogue, but it's a wall. What do you think it is? Leave your guesses in the comments.
Next up, we're going to be going to Matthew's house, and it's not here.
So this, I think, is going to be connected to that house that we saw in all the other behind the scenes. It's the same exact color palette, as well as some of the same artistic kind of details. So that's what I think this is going to be.
Here. What do you think they're going to be filming in here? Let us know in the comments below. We just got done with the sets outside, and now we're here at the soundstage.
So we're going to continue the game here with these soundstage sets. What's he putting on the door over there?
I can't. Okay. So we've talked about the mezuzah quite a bit on our channel. We've done whole videos about it previously, but this is a great explanation. So let's watch through this about the mezuzah and what is going on here.
What are you doing, BJ?
I am hanging a mezuzah on Lazarus's house.
What's a mezuzah?
Well, it's traditional to hang these on the doorway of every home, and inside of it is the text of the scroll, and as you pass through the threshold, you touch the mezuzah and then kiss your fingers, the fingers that have touched the mezuzah. And it's just a reminder of your connection with God.
Kind of like in Exodus when they put the blood of the lamb on their doors, so the death angel had to pass over.
Pass over, right.
This is kind of like a mark they're putting on their door to be like, this is God's house. Now something...
Again, the Jews have this type of stuff throughout their entire culture, right? From the prayers that they have to do every time they do specific things. When you eat, you pray. When you sleep, you pray. When you wake up, you pray. When you wash your hands, you pray, right? Like everything has a prayer to go along with it. This is another example of how they remind themselves of God throughout the day. I think this is something that we could add to our lives as well. Being in a Christian life today, I think that we need more reminders to remind ourselves, hey, you need to pay attention to God today. Hey, you need to follow God's word today. Hey, have you done this, right? These reminders, I think, are very, very key to the Jewish people. I think it could be a very useful thing for us today as well.
I can't help but notice the slant right here.
The instructions are to tip it towards the inside of the dwelling. So the top leans in, the bottom leans out. It's on the right side as you're stepping into the dwelling, and it's about 2/3 of the way off the ground.
Now you were specific because you touched it, then you kissed your fingers.
Yes.
You didn't kiss and then touch. So
right.
Why is it that way where you're
kissing what has touched the mezuzah? You're not kissing the mezuzah, you're kissing what's touched the mezuzah.
Now, is this something that still goes on today? Like, do they still have
Absolutely.
They put on doors?
I have one in my house.
No way.
You've walked past it several times.
Can I put that on my door even though I'm not Jewish?
Okay. Listen, what I'm about to say is going to sound critical. Know that I love Chris and Jelaine, okay? I've met them several times. Chris and I have been friends for over 3.5 years now. Trust me, I love Chris and Jelaine, but I just can't with like the fake surprise. With like those moments that they both have. Oh man, I kind of cringe. I love them, but I kind of cringe.
Absolutely. It's still a connection with God. You can.
So not only does the scroll in the mezuzah have the Shema in it, which we all know.
Yes.
Do you all know how to pray the Shema?
Yes.
The Shema was one of the most important things for Jewish culture, period. Even today, if I walk into Jerusalem, for example, I was in Jerusalem a few months ago, and as I'm walking towards the Western Wall and talking to some of the locals and things, they're asking me what denomination I am, like what religion I am, right? And I told them I'm Protestant, I'm a Christian, and some of the Jews don't even know what that means. They don't even know what that is, right? And so, he's like, well, are you monotheistic or are you, pantheistic? Do you believe in multiple gods or do you believe in one God? And I quoted him the Shema, right? Hear, O Israel, right? The Lord is God, the Lord is one, right? And so that identifier helped him to understand who I was as a Christian. And so I said, I believe in one God. I don't believe that Jesus is a separate God than God the Father, and I don't believe that the Holy Spirit is a separate God than God the Father. And so they are all one God in three persons. And so that helped me to explain basically what I believe to this Jewish man who had never really interacted with a Protestant before. And so it was a really interesting moment there. But the Shema is hugely, hugely important to Jewish culture.
Oh, I would love to hear it.
Hear Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. I am the Lord your God. Amen.
Obviously from episode 3 of season 1.
Beautiful.
So the other thing that I thought was kind of cool is I think some of the scrolls, if not all, like on the other side is written Deuteronomy verses 13 through 21, which is a command to never forget the commands of God. It seems the mezuzah is like this reminder every time you walk in the door and you kiss it, you're reminded of God's commands. And now back to our regularly scheduled program of guessing what are they going to film on this set in season 5.
Ooh, let's go back there.
The commands of God. It seems the walk in the door and you kiss it.
This is one of the things I'm talking about with the Chosen app. I can't stand how this thing works.
Scheduled program of guessing what are they going to film on this set in season 5.
All right, let's see here. This is the Tech Scout. I'm trying to read what it says on this. Can't really read it. Unfortunate.
So we've got some dark reds, black, scrolls, and these 3D paintings.
This is a pilot's area, basically. It looks like to be some sort of war room or something like that. And then we also see a bedroom here as well, which of course Claudia has been known to kind of be at as well. So we'll see if we get more Claudia nightmares or dreams as well this season.
What do you think they're going to be filming here for season 5? So how did you do out of all of those?
All right, so that's the end of our bonus video as well. Interesting stuff coming up. I hope that they give us, my biggest gripe about these videos is like they're only like 4 minutes long. I wish they were a bit longer, gave us a bit more of the behind the scenes and showed us some of what the actors are doing on a day-to-day basis and different things like that. But anyway, thank you so much to the Chosen team, obviously, for doing this. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting out what you do put out. It is great. So what do you guys think about the bonus video? What do you think about the YouTube video from this week? Any behind the scenes things that you loved or that you thought were great or whatever? Yeah, what do you think is coming up in season 5 that we could kind of glean from these moments right here? Some cool moments for sure. Anyway, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.